Last and not least, and Governor Dean said it, ladies and gentlemen, in 1 month it becomes an election year in our country. And no American president wants to see our values tarnished, if not dashed, such as we saw in the April massacre, and no president wants to go into an election with blood on his hands. So, Governor Dean, sir, you are the closest thing I know to someone with influence into that thought process. I encourage you to make the necessary connections and calls to try to ensure that the right thing happens. So what happens after delisting? Well, I think several things need to happen. There needs to continue, I believe, to be protection of the people of Arashaf. There needs to be what we call blue helmets from the United Nations on deck there to make sure there is no retribution for what may have been decided. The United States country team in Iraq needs to very much change their rhetoric, both military and civilian, with a new thought process now that these people are no longer on a list of terrorists, and they need to ensure that President Maliki and his organization do not, again, in some way, act poorly. We need to negotiate what's best for the people of Arashaf. Do they want to stay there? Do they want to go elsewhere? What is in their best interest and their quality of life? And we need to have that conversation with them. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, the Iraqi government is not a monolith. President Maliki needs to have pressure from within, because there are a number of people that I know in Iraq who are not the least bit happy that he is dancing at the end of the strings of people that are pulling those strings in the nation of Iran. And he also needs to understand that he may still be charged for violations that occurred in April. He certainly will be charged if other violations and loss of human life should follow. In closing, I return to this thought process of storm clouds on the horizon. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my conviction that if we are to avoid war, the death and the destruction, the additional horsemen of the apocalypse that would accompany such a thing, we need an Iran that does not seek nuclear weapons. We need an Iran that does not support international terrorism. And we need an Iran that does not murder its people on the streets. What we do need is an Iran that recognizes individual freedoms, that allows for representative government, and that will have the full intent to join with its friends and allies in the region. What we need is an Iran that's envisioned by the tenets of Madame Rajavi.